I truly believe ADOS people, American descendants of slaves, if you want to call them Black American or African American, I truly believe we can take over the sport of soccer. Soccer or football, if you want to call it that, it's not a very popular sport in America. It's not a very popular sport in America, but at the same time, it's the most popular sport in the world. It's popular in Europe, Africa, South America, Asia. It's popular everywhere except for the United States. And the biggest leagues, the most talented leagues per se, are in Europe, like La Liga, which is in Spain. Messi plays in that league. Ronaldo used to play in that league. Then they have the English Premier League. And those are like the two most talented leagues in the world. In America, we have the MLS. That's way below the English Premier League and La Liga, and it's way below plenty of the other European leagues, such as the Italian League and the French League. And MLS is way below, talent-wise and popularity, in those European leagues that I just mentioned. Like in America, soccer is not even a household sport. In America, here, basketball's popular, American football's popular, baseball's popular, even hockey, even the sport of hockey. It's more popular here than the sport of soccer, which is insane. Like, how do people watch hockey over soccer? Ha ha ha. I prefer to watch soccer over hockey. Hockey's not one of my favorite sports, but that's my opinion. But yeah, no one watches the MLS in the United States. But there is one group of people who can make soccer a household name in America. There's one ethnic group / race of people who do this. And it's ADOS people, American descendants of slaves, also known as Black American, African American. You know what group of people I'm talking about. ADOS people, we're a very athletically gifted group of people. I mean, it's in our genes to be athletic, We're of West African descent. West Africans are generally speaking, are the most athletic race of people in the world. And to add on to that, during slavery, slaves were bred to be physically fit. I mean, slave masters would pick people who were physically fit to mate with each other so they can create strong children to work the field and to be slaves. Strength, athletic ability, speed, those types of physical abilities have a strong connection to genetics. So African Americans, we've been bred through slavery to be athletic, to be strong, to have muscle, to be fast. We've been bred for that. And it shows. I mean, whatever sport ADOS play turns into gold. Whatever sport that we play as African Americans or ADOS, we take over that sport. And it can be proven through history. I mean, look at sport history. Back in the day, in baseball, black people in America, we weren't allowed to be in the Major League Baseball at first. That was a white-only league, right? And funny enough, that MLB, the white-only league, they were considered to be the Premier League of baseball. They were supposed to be the most talented, most skilled baseball players in the country. And as I just stated, because of segregation, black Americans weren't able to be in that league, so we had to create our own league, and it was called the Negro League. And once the Negro League started to get on its feet, the players in the Negro League began to outshine the premier, quote-unquote, the premier Major League Baseball players. I mean, those Negro players, the black players, became to be more talented and more skilled than the MLB players. So as soon as black people picked up that sport of baseball, we began to dominate. Same thing with basketball. At one point in time, you know, due to segregation, racism, black Americans, we weren't allowed to be in the ABA. The NBA was called the ABA before, so not a lot of black people were allowed to be in that league. But over time, you know, they began to let black people to play basketball and be in that league, the NBA, the ABA. And as soon as black people started to play the sport of basketball at that level, we took over that sport. And you already know the rest, like with players like Michael Jordan, LeBron, Shaquille O'Neal, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, you know, some of the most talented basketball players ever are black American, of black American descent. Same thing with football. Back in the days, it was racist. More blatantly racist, you know, segregation. The NFL didn't allow black people to play at first. You know, it was a white league. But eventually, they started to let black people play in the league, and black people began to dominate the NFL as well. So, we see a trend. We're beginning to see a trend. It's like whatever sport black Americans or ADOS people pick up, we dominate that sport. And we turn these sports that we dominate into household names. Before black Americans started to play basketball, the NBA, ABA, it wasn't a household name like that. Before black people started to play NFL, to play football, football wasn't a household name like that. Once black Americans athletes get into a certain sport, we dominate that sport. We bring that sport to a next level because we're naturally we're just more athletically gifted than other races of people. And we just have that it factor, you know? Even aside from us being athletically gifted, we just have that it factor about ourselves that it causes people to be like attracted to us. As in, we're naturally just like an entertaining people. People would rather watch black people play a sport than white people. We just have that it factor about ourselves. I mean, we're just more entertaining, naturally. We're more charismatic. And we will attract more viewers to our sport. I mean, we've already we dominated sport like baseball, we dominated boxing, football, NFL, basketball, and all these sports that I just listed were sports that we originally weren't even allowed to play. But as soon as we started to play those sports, we took over those sports and made those sports to become household names. And so what makes us think that the same thing wouldn't happen with the sport of soccer? Soccer is the perfect sport right now that ADOS people could use to financially better ourselves. You know, we can use soccer to make a mark for ourselves. You know, like I said, MLS, the MLS, Major League Soccer League, that's a league of soccer in America, but no one watches that league. No one watches that league like that. It's not a household name. People watch the European leagues. So it's like we have African Americans, we have an open field when it comes to soccer. We can start our own league. That's not going to be, it's not going to be too hard to take over the MLS. I mean, the MLS doesn't have a whole lot of viewers. So if black Americans, ADOS people, we begin to play soccer with our athletic gift, with our it factor, and we create our own league, we're going to overpower the MLS within probably less than a decade. And just like how we did with the NBA, NFL, and boxing, and all the other sports that we began to play, we could turn soccer into an American household name, black people, black Americans. But we're in an even better situation with soccer than we were compared to all the other sports. I mean, all the other sports, like the MLB, NFL, NBA, those are white-owned leagues. But this time around, we can start our own league and make it black-owned. our own black-owned soccer league. And since soccer currently doesn't have a huge market in America, the competition against our league wouldn't be much. The MLS wouldn't be much of a competition against a black soccer league. I mean, no one watches the MLS anyways. So we can easily take over soccer in America. In our own, we can make soccer a household name, and potentially, you know, African Americans, we have that it factor. We're athletically gifted. We can begin to start outplay the major European leagues like La Liga, the Premier Leagues. You know, we have. I believe we can outplay those guys in soccer, and the proof of that is in our history with all these other sports. We've taken over all these other sports. What makes you think that we can't do the same thing with soccer? And we can catapult our league to be the biggest league of soccer in the whole world. And the money we bring in from this soccer league, they bring a whole bunch of revenue to the Black American community. It could be one of our black-owned staples. You know, people can look up to our league. Black people in America can look up to our league, and they can see our league being successful and things of that nature, and that can cause black people in America to get an incentive to start their own businesses, you know, because they see an example of a very successful black-owned soccer league.